everybody, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I know it's been a hot second since I posted, but with New Year's, I'm trying to get back into more of a schedule. My goal is to post at least once or twice a month. I'm gonna try to put out more, but those are kind of my goals. So yeah, without further ado, let's get into the video. Today, I'm going to walk you through how to draw eyelashes. I know somebody had posted a comment requesting this video, so I'll link them down in the description. Thank you so much for that suggestion. I love getting ideas from you guys, so if you have any other ideas on things you'd like to learn or breakdowns or anything like that, drop a comment down below and I'll make sure to get to it. Okay, so first what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try to draw big. Normally I draw really small, so I'm gonna start with very simple eye shape. I'm actually gonna do two. These are both right eyes. Like the right eye, this is not the same face, it looks funky. So the first thing I'm going to walk through is just some few basic shapes and tips and tricks. And then once I do that, then I'm going to go through drawing, 4 different styles of eyelashes. So ranging from pretty realistic to more cartoony and simplified. But before going into that, I'm gonna go through some of the don'ts of eyelashes. So, often when I see people, I feel like when you first draw an eye with eyelashes, this is how, at least how I've drawn them, and I've seen a lot of other people do it, where they just do this, which I feel like everyone's done this at some point, and it looks like a very hairy eye. It's a little scary, but I feel like this is what I did growing up before I learned more about how to draw eyelashes, and I've seen other people do this as well when they first start to draw eyelashes. So we don't want to do that. Another tip is, so you notice how these is all one line. A lot of times I see people draw it and it's like this, and the eyelashes just go out from there. And what we want, so I would kind of think of drawing eyeliner like that, and then it's gonna go here, and right when it gets in the middle, you're gonna start to go thinner down. And it's gonna be the same for the bottom lashes as well. So you want it to be more like that, this shape. So you want the eyelashes to get a little bit thinner. Obviously everyone's eyelashes are different. Some people have eyelashes that are very, very long. I just find that this looks a bit more natural and appealing to me. So another thing we're gonna talk about is the actual shape of the eyelashes and where they should start when you're drawing a more realistic eye. So let me get another eye shape. Ooh, ignore that line. Okay, so we're gonna talk about the water lines and where you really should kind of start your eyes. So before I even do my eyelashes, I like to do a very thin, ooh, you can barely even see it. I don't know if you can see that, but it's a very, very thin line that extends past that. I'm gonna do one on the bottom as well. I don't know if you can really pick that up on the camera, but I added a second line on the top and bottom. It gets a little thicker and then it goes in, and that's gonna be their water line. Because your eyelashes don't actually start from this line if you're going for a more realistic style. So, and I don't even start from the edge either. I kind of just go in the middle of this line. And now that we kind of know where the eyelashes are gonna go, they're gonna stem from here, this shape that we just created. I'm gonna talk about the shape of the actual eyelashes. So what helps me think about it is I kind of think of the letter J. You know, you have boop, the letter J. So if you were to just get rid of that, you're left with just that shape. So I like to take that and kind of curve it out a little bit more. So just make it a little bit more round, like that. So you should end up with a shape kind of like that. And when I draw, I also like to apply more pressure at the base and lift up as I go. So it leaves me with something kind of more like that. You have more, you start with more pressure, and as you go up, you're gonna slowly release, and it kind of gives a nice feathered tip that kind of fades out, just like that. So now we're gonna talk about placement and the rotation. I know for me, the part that is the hardest to draw with eyelashes is the center of the eye. And that's because, you know, with the eyelashes over here, you're able to have them, let me just draw another eye real quick. You're able to have them kind of curve outward, 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 a little bit more in. It's looking more like a J. And then when you get to the middle, it's like, well, what do? Do you just do a straight line? I try to steer clear of ever doing just a plain straight line. I still try to keep the J shape, but I try to make it more like down and up. So it's just very, very squished in because you're looking at it from pretty straight on. So for instance, I would kind of go like this. So it kind of looks like a straight line, but you still have that little bit of that J shape. And then once you do a line that's pretty straight, you're gonna go the other direction. And it's gonna go like that. Sorry, my pen was being a little funky. So kind of like that. So now I'm gonna kind of walk through this. So we have our waterline, and we're gonna try to keep our eyelashes kind of within this shape that I just created. Remember, we're gonna talk about that one right there. We're talking about that one. So I'm gonna do this. Oh, and another thing is I try not to space them out like this one over here. I try not to do this where it's like perfectly even. You know, we don't want it to be like perfectly spaced. Then it looks a little bit unnatural. And if you guys have looked at your eyelashes or whenever you put on mascara, you know that they clump a little bit or they like to stick together. So they like to be in, I like to group them a little bit. So, you know, here's two that are pretty close. One that's kind of by itself. Gonna add another one right there. And remember, they kind of droop down. Some of them are even gonna come over the eye a little bit. Yeah, so I'm gonna kind of group them together. And a way that helps me like spread things out in a way that looks kind of natural is the 2-1 rule. So if you do like freckles, you do 1 dot, 2 dot, 3 dot. So 1, 2 close together, and the third one far away. And I kind of like to think of that as the same kind of idea when doing eyelashes as well. So, you know, I have these two that are kind of close to each other and the one that's kind of far away. And I would do like another small one in the middle. You know, 1, 2, 3. It looks a little bit more natural. You get some variety. And you don't have to do like 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 because it also becomes a pattern. But kind of keep that in mind. So, you know, I'm getting closer to the center of the eye. So these ones on the edge are very, I'll show over here. Over here on the edge are very outward. It's more like a less a J and more kind of like a wide U. You know, and as we get closer, it's gonna look more like a J. You know, pretty straight line right in the middle. And then slightly angled to the left now. So now we're going the other direction. Like that. It's not perfect. Nothing ever is. Okay. And then this is just a preference that I like to do. But that line, that water line that I created, I kind of like to fill it in a little bit. Kind of gives it more dimension. I don't know if that's the right word to use. But it's kind of like adding a little bit of eyeliner onto the person. So there's that. You can add more if you'd like. So then you're left with something that looks kind of like that. And then for the bottom eyelashes, it's the same idea, same premise, but I do way, way, way less. And I try to keep most of the eyelashes over here and then just spread them out. So again, we're gonna do the groups, and I feel like the bottom ones actually tend to group together more than the top ones because there's not as many. So, you know, 2, 2, something kind of like that. So kind of the same thing, just duplicate in the bottom, but I do way less on the bottom, or else you'd end up with something kind of like this, and it can look a little scary. If you're going for a more natural look, obviously if your character's wearing false eyelashes or a lot of mascara, or you just want them to have, you know, very big, full eyelashes, that's, you know, totally up to you. But you're left with something that looks like that. Okay, so now that we have gone over the basics and kind of like tips and tricks on how to draw eyelashes, I'm going to show you how to draw 4 different styles and different levels of realism to cartoon. So we're going to start with our one that's a little bit more realistic. I know we kind of, you know, just talked about that one. Actually, no, we're going to reverse it. I'm going to start with the more cartoon simplified version of eyelashes and kind of work my way up to a more realistic. So let's start over here. We're just going to do a very simple eye shape. Just add some detail. Okay, so we have our simple eye shape. Now this one basically, it's just gonna be like eyeliner, but this is more like a cartoon look. So if you were to draw eyeliner on the eye, you know, it kind of continues the bottom line, kind of gonna go up. Kind of like a wing in there. And we're just gonna fill it in. There's a very simple kind of cartoon look of an eye with eyelashes. Then we're gonna hop over to our next one. This one's gonna be kind of like anime, chibi. I think I said that right, I don't know. So it's gonna be a bit more rounded. So there's one. This is gonna be 2. And this is gonna be a bit more round. So we're gonna like that. We'll just give a little simple, so we know it's nice. Okay, so we have this, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna do most of the eyelashes on the edges. So right over here and right over there. So first I'm going to kind of give the eyeliner, kind of darken that up a little bit. And we're gonna do the same on the bottom. So we have a little bit of oomph. Okay, so now we're just gonna do a few eyelashes. So there's like a long one there, kind of goes down, kind of small one in between. And I'm gonna make them a little bit thicker. Actually, when it's like cartoony, the eyelashes are few, but they're a little bit thicker and heavier than they would be in real life. And then we're gonna do the bottom as well. Okay, and there we have that one. And we're gonna hop over to 3. It's a little high. Okay. So 3, this one's gonna be a little bit more realistic. So we're gonna kind of go back to this eye shape. bit more angled. Okay, and we're gonna also, I'm gonna add a crease here. Okay, there's that. And we're also gonna do the eyeliner kind of look. It's basically gonna be like one giant wing, but it's actually the eyelash. Kind of make it thicker. I'm gonna do 2 over here. And then right here, once it kind of divots down in the middle, I'm gonna add an eyelash. And then here, the bottom, it's gonna go out with one big eyelash, down with another, right here where it divots. It's gonna be one that kind of angles down. And then over here, it's gonna go the opposite direction. Just gonna fix it up a little bit. And then go up to something a little bit like that. Okay, so now I'm just gonna shift this down. You guys can't see, but my iPad that I'm filming on is balancing on boxes and books right now. So that's how I get this view for filming. So now we're gonna do 2, and 2 we're actually gonna do it from a slightly different angle. So, yeah. So this is going to be the angle. Just going to bring it down a little bit. Okay, so we're going to do the crease above. Make this line a little bit thicker. And then down here, the bottom part, we're gonna go up. And that's going to, this line's gonna transition into first eyelash. And then actually for this one, because we're kind of looking at a different angle, so instead of it just being straight on, we're looking at it this way. So most of the, most of the eyelashes are gonna be angling this way. Like if her nose was over here. So we're gonna go boop. There. And then over here is where it's gonna, little bug. I created a wobbly shape in order to fill it in. Okay, there you have that one. These eyelashes over here look a little funky. I would have made them a little bit smaller. I made them a tad too big. But that's okay. We'll move on to the last one, which is number, I just realized I went 1, 2, 3, 2. This is supposed to be 4. Oopsies. And then we're going on to 5. I don't know, they made that one so much bigger than all the other ones. So this is gonna be kind of a repeat of what we already did. Then when I first went over the tips and tricks how to draw eyelashes. So I'm gonna start with the very kind of soft almond shape. Just like that. Some lines there, add a crease. Okay, and then again, we're gonna do her waterline. Same on the bottom, pretty subtle. Okay. And then we're gonna do the eyelashes with our J's. Remember the middle, pretty straight up, and then we're angling this way. And then the bottoms like to clump. Sometimes even like to a little bit of shadow there. Darken this up. Oop, made that a little bit too big. Can actually make the eyelashes a little bit longer. Okay, and you're left with something that looks like that. I'm actually gonna go in real quick and just add details in the eyes. And there you have it. We have 5 different ways, different styles, kind of, and different levels of realism, going from more cartoony and simplistic to more detail and slightly more realistic. Now, I know this is not like super duper realistic, but I think this is a really great starting point to kind of give you those ideas that help you make it look more realistic. And you can add on to that or take away, depending on how realistic you want it to be, but that's completely up to you. Thank you guys so very much for watching this video. I hope your New Year's is going wonderfully. And again, if you have any suggestions for future videos you'd like to see me make, please comment that down below and I'll make sure to get to all of those. Thank you guys so much. Have a great day.